Hey, I'm Pastor Cherry. Welcome to another moment of inspiration. Today I want to talk about being in hot pursuit. In hot pursuit. There's an old movie I love. It's called Smokey and the Bandit. And Jackie Gleason was in this movie. He was a sheriff chasing down the bandit. And he had this phrase where he would say, "I'm in hot pursuit." This man was relentless. He would not stop until he caught the bandit. He was driving around with the top cut off his car, the door was off his car, riding around with his son. He wouldn't stop at anything to reach his goal. Well, Paul references a passage in Philippians chapter 3, verses 12 through 14, where he talks about the fact that we as Christians ought to live like we have not apprehended all of our goals, that we are not perfect. Though Christ has called us to be, we have not yet attained that. So here's how we reach those goals. Now, before we look at that, I want us to understand that the goals that we're after we're not talking about money. We're not talking about a new house. We're not talking about material things. We're talking about reaching goals that are heavenly. God, thank you. Reaching goals that matter. Goals that happen in the character, like knowing God more intimately. A goal like walking in the power of His resurrection. A goal like learning how to suffer some stuff, learning how to fellowship in the suffering, and learning how to conform even to death sometimes. Learn how to take a hit, learn how to die to some stuff that doesn't even matter. Learn how to let people have it. If that's what they want, then let them have it. So Paul says very clearly, here's how you do this. First of all, you forget those things which are behind. Not just the negative, but the positive. Sometimes when we think and focus on what we've accomplished, then we act like we don't have to put forth any effort anymore, and we get complacent and content. So forget the stuff that you've accomplished already, so you can be in what? Hot pursuit. Not only that, reach forward to what is ahead of you. Don't reach back, but reach forward. Now, faith is forward. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. You're still hoping for it. It's the evidence of things not seen. It hasn't yet arrived. So God tells us to reach toward that. You got to lean into life. You got to lean into that ribbon. You've got to learn how to pull your future into your present. Pull your future into your present. Who God has seen you to be, who God has called you to be, pull it into your now. Don't keep reaching back in your past, trying to fix your present. Reach into what God has destined you to be in your present. Lastly, then, you've got to press toward the mark. You've got to press toward. Well, what? Press means you have to go chase it down. Character is not going to walk up to you and say, "Here, I'm patience, let me lodge in you. Here, I'm confidence, let me lodge in you." No, you've got to pursue it. You've got to go after it. You've got to be relentless and say, "I'm going to be a better man. I'm going to be a better woman. If it's the last thing I do, this one thing I do, I'm in pursuit of character." You have to go after it. You have to live life like you have a goal to pursue. Why? Because the text says, "I press toward what? The mark." Press toward the goal. Find your place in life where God is going to award you for what you've done. Find out your purpose and your calling. Acquire your character to live within it, because character is the most powerful witness in the world. It's not your money. It's not your acquisitions. It's your character that people look at. And we all have flaws, and so we must be in pursuit of it so that we can hear God say, when we mount the mantle, say, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." So press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God. What is God's high calling on your life? I'm not talking about the little material things, but the high calling. What are you designed for? What have you been created for? That's where God wants you to be. I'm Pastor Cherry, and you need to be in hot pursuit. That's your moment of inspiration today. God bless.